So is the greed off the page for the WWE? I have bad news for any paying WWE fans out there. And by the way, this episode is brought to you by Big G. Thank you, Big G. I'm going to explain this situation. There's a huge increase coming to all kinds of things for us WWE fans. But first, guys, if you can go fund me, that'd be awesome. You can do it by using the link in the chat below, streamlabs.com/evilspectrum111/tip. There's the top leaderboard right now. Or you guys can go to paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show. Don't send it to the guy in Hingham. Make sure it's paypal.me/Joe Cronin Show. Or this link right here. Of course, Leonard Kitty Kisser on the top. That's creepy. Z Payne #2, Moss Blaze, Mr. Mammoth. Guys, we need your help. I'm funded by you guys, so whatever you guys can do. Obviously, you don't need to do anything. But if you want to fund the show or help me directly so that I can make more videos, do more of this stuff, and quite honestly, fix everything, we need funding from people who have the ability to fund the show. Obviously, don't do anything if you can't, but we're looking for help. And obviously, you will be recognized on this leaderboard. Love you guys. Hope you can help out, but, it is what it is. We're looking for somebody who's rich out there, but $10 helps, $5 helps, $20, huge. We're going to shout you out. But yeah, we need a godfather or something. Anyway, feel free to do that. Links all down below in the description, pinned to the top of the comments as well. Also, let's get right to the point. So, speaking of money, speaking of gouging people, you don't have to pay for this content, but it'd be cool. $16.99. Peacock is going up to $6.99. So that's a $3 or $4 increase, and pretty soon they're phasing out the bottom tier. So if you thought WWE was going to get cheaper, or you were wrong, first of all, because now ESPN is taking the PLEs. So you only had to pay $13.99 on Peacock before for everything. Now you have to pay $16.99 for the archive on Peacock, so that's an increase. But you can't watch the pay-per-views anymore on Peacock, so you have to go over to ESPN and drop $30. So now this is about a $35 increase, and with some of the other increases that are coming and have come, it's really about a $40 increase. So you're looking at a $40 overall increase within a year since before Netflix launched for WWE, and now. So your prices are going up. What does this mean? Why is WWE doing this? What is the logic behind this? Well, I'll give you the logic behind this. WWE also believes that you pay less now than you did back in the day. Let me tell you what I'm talking about. Back in the day, let's not even use the 90s. Let's not even use the 90s. And someone's calling me right now. Let me see who it is. I might have to take this. Hold on. So anyway, I'm sorry. So WWE thinks, because, so here it is. In 2004, think about this. In 2004, it was $89, right? So if you added your cable cost, right? Almost everybody had cable, right? Everybody had cable. For the most, okay, that's a lie. Not everybody had cable. Some people had satellite. Some people still had local TV. But most people had cable in 2004 or some kind of version of cable in 2004, or they could just, somehow they could watch USA Network, whatever the case is. So that cost people an average of about, $40, right? $30, $40, $50. In 2004, right? So then if you bought one WWE pay-per-view that month, right? The average pay-per-view price was around $39, $49, $99, whatever it was. I think even maybe $29.99 a little bit earlier than that, but we'll go with the $49, the higher numbers. So that's $89 a month, right? So in the year 2004, so in the year 2004, it cost you, if you were going to buy every pay-per-view from the WWE and watch everything the WWE had on TV, it would cost you about $89 a month, right? Now in the year 2025, right? I did the math myself, and then I asked Grok to formulate how much it would cost as well. And so Grok agrees with me. It's about $100. Right, to watch everything WWE now. So you're looking at somewhere between $101 and $107 to watch WWE in the year 2025. So WWE looks at this and thinks, well, look, it was cheaper to watch WWE, a little bit cheaper back then, but if you just adjust for inflation, well, then you get a whole different number, right? You adjust it for inflation and you do the numbers. Well, WWE in 2004 compared to today was $150. Do the math. So WWE in 2004 was actually $150 to watch WWE programming in 2004. So we're like $50 less than we were in 2004. So that's kind of the explanation, or the way that WWE probably sees it. Like, hey, you know what? It's actually cheaper to watch WWE nowadays than it was back then. You think it's more because there's all these little jabs of prices and different ways you can choose to watch a little bit or half it or some of it or all of it. But it's actually $50 less, or at least $40 less, right? But the debt to income ratio in people's jobs and whatever else is not the same as before. So in conclusion, after I put this all through the AI system and Grok and everything else, $100 per month was slightly more affordable in 2004 than it is now. So this is why people have a problem. This is the key point, right? Because in 2004 it was whatever it was. Now it's 2025. WWE thinks it's cheaper when you add it both together, when you adjust for inflation. But no, because the conclusion of AI, and I put this through multiple systems and I did the math myself, and I believe it's higher now too. Conclusion, $100 per month was slightly more affordable in 2004 than now, the equivalent $168 in 2025. So if you adjust for what the affordability is, it's basically, would you have paid in 2004 $168 a month to be able to see everything WWE? Because that's what it is. So with a 3.61% of a median monthly income in 2004 versus 3.70% in 2005, those are the numbers. They don't lie. The difference is minimal, reflecting that real wages have barely budged over that period, keeping the pace with inflation, but not significantly outpacing it for WWE fans. The cost of accessing all content has increased faster, and inflation making it less affordable 2025 compared to 2004, when cable and pay-per-views were cheaper in relative income. However, the convenience of streaming and on-demand access in 2025 adds value that may offset affordability gap for some of the customers, right? So, in the end, it's a little bit more. WWE has gone up a little bit more for you. And that's why people are hurting. That's why people are grumbling. That's why people are pissed, right? I don't think the product is loved as much as it was in the late 90s and the early 2000s. So when you think about something that isn't quite as loved, right, in the visceral way it was back then, and then you talk about something like that being more expensive by 3 to 5% for most people, you know, there's a little bit of negativity there. And so if the product isn't doing well, people start really bitching about it. Right? But if the product was doing really well, people would bitch, but it would be negligible, right? But if the product was crushing it, and I mean crushing it on all fronts with everybody, people would probably be like, it sucks, but yeah, I gotta have it, I gotta have it. The only people that are saying I gotta have it are streamer people or podcasters or people like me who I gotta watch everything to figure out what's going on. Although I steal most of it too, because it's just too much for me, because I don't have the money to deal with it. So that's the deal. But if you just packaged everything together and said, all WWE, everywhere, across everything, $30 a month, $50 a month, okay, probably sign me up maybe, right? But for $120, $130 to go, this place, that place, and the other place, I mean, sorry, can't do it. Most Americans can't. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, I don't know. But maybe you're somebody who's rich. Maybe you have a lot of money. Maybe you have an at-home business. Maybe you have a big business. Maybe you got a couple of $100,000 in your bank account. Maybe you got $1 million in your bank account. And if you do, boy, does my show need you. That's right. Support the Joe Cronin Show. Become a member right now. And also, if you donate right now, you can get yourself on this leaderboard. We need sponsors. We need help, and you can support this channel directly. You make a huge impact on the channel. You make a huge impact on my life. All right? Everything from the car's fixed to the electricity's on to my internet's on, which is really going to be huge for this week if we're going to stream. So you guys make a huge impact. Shout out to these top leaderboard guys, plus Big G, the sponsor of the show for the rest of the month, and Sith Negan, approaching 80 months in a row on Patreon as a $100 patron. Sith Negan. Guys, you can get so much content on Patreon. So if you're somebody who doesn't just like throw in a donation, you want something back, patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show, or become a member on my channel as well. You get all the bonus content, all kinds of stuff back for $5, $2, $1 a month, whatever it is. But if you want to just simply say, well, you know what, Joe? I just made $2 million and I want to give you a birthday gift. Well, there it is. Evil Spectrum 1111/tip. The links to all that stuff is down below, and I pinned it in the top comment on this video. You can make an impact. You are PBS. This is PBS. The only PBS left. Trump ain't shutting down my PBS, okay? Because we're not teaching Elmo to suck and fondle kids. Joe Cronin is wholesome, and that's why you want to fund me like PBS. So, can you believe all those shows are going away, though? I mean, like, it's so crazy. Why not just revamp it and rework it to make sure it's like, set the educational standards, like whatever. Like, man, I can't believe all these shows when we were little kids going away. Unbelievable. What do you think of that? But let's stick to the WWE and the wrestling, but we can get into all the other things, too, if you want. But I'm Elmo. I miss Elmo. Don't you like Elmo? You ever looked at Elmo, Big Bird, and Snuffleupagus and just get friggin' terrified, though, as a kid? I mean, that was terrifying. And then the count, 1, 2, 3. Like, what kind of nightmare am I living in? Sesame Street. Jeez. But anyway, Mr. Rogers was great. Here's some other videos popping up that you might have missed. You got to watch these videos. I'm telling you right now, they're hot right now. Check them out. I'm Joe Cronin. This is Joe Cronin Show. Subscribe. Click the like button. And I hope Sean View's family gets in a campfire accident.